Hello, everybody. Can you guys in the back row hear me okay? Okay, very good. This is a weird mic. This is scary, isn't it? I'll stand right here. I want to welcome all of you here, especially our LEAP friends that are here. Clap if you're from LEAP. LEAP? Stars, it's the STARS program. No wonder you're not clapping. Well, raise your hand if you're from STARS. Thank you for coming, you guys. And we have our LifeWorks people here. Raise your hand if you're from LifeWorks. There you are. Welcome, you guys. Thank you for coming. Yes, I did see you come in, and that's why I thought I wanted to shout out to you guys. Because I'm so happy you're here. You're welcome. Thank you. Well, this is the final coffee concert of the season, and Sarah appreciates all of you choosing to attend today's concert, supporting the events at the Hastings Arts Center. Right now, I need you to take a moment to silence your phones or to put them in airplane mode, whatever that means. Don't think I'm cool because I've got my iPad up here. My printer didn't work today, so now I feel like I'm about 12 trying to navigate this. And then also Sarah asked that you don't take photos today because they are videotaping this. So today's performers, well, first of all, I'm going to start out by some announcements. That's important. The current art exhibit that you see out in the hallway is by the Hastings Middle School and High School art classes. Those will be coming down midweek next week. And the new exhibit that will be on display will be here for the whole summer, and it's going to be 3 photographers that will be showing their work. There will be an opening reception for these photographers later in June, so watch the website for that information so that you know when the event will be. And the last main event of this season is a concert on Friday, May 17th at 7:30. Featuring Monroe Crossing. And that's one of Minnesota's top bluegrass bands. And there are still some tickets available, but not many are left. So either go to the website, which is hastingsartscenter.org, or Sarah can help you purchase tickets if you need some help with technology. That would be me. Thank you so much for supporting all the concerts this season. It's become a great community get-together every month, and we look forward to starting up the new coffee concert series in the fall of 2024. And that's when they kick off their 10th season. Maybe you noticed the cake out there. It's the start of celebrating their 10 years here. So there'll be a lot of things going on. In April 2025, they'll have a week-long celebration of our 10-year, that's in 1 year. Speaking of that, in April of 2025, they will be having a week-long celebration of their 10th year opening at Hastings Arts Center. It's also the 160th year of Guardian Angels. This building, isn't that amazing? So they're going to have a celebration incorporating both of those anniversaries. So they're looking for people who have either pictures of coming to church here or at the school, or if you have any stories to share. Be sure to share that with Sarah, and she's going to compile the history of both the building and Hastings Arts Center. Sarah wants to thank Travis for always setting up the sound and setting up the live stream. And thank you to Susie Stoltz for getting the cake and getting all that ready, making it such a good celebration. And thank you to the Friends of the Hastings Arts Center and the power of 100 women that made this event or this season possible. My name is Kathy O'Keefe, and I am the president of Hastings Prescott Art Council. I would love to know how many people have heard of us. Just raise your hand if you've heard of us somehow. Oh, this side wins. Definitely. Well, if you're curious about what Hastings Prescott Art Council is, be sure to find me and I'll tell you, or Pam has a shirt on with the initials on it, and you can hear more about it. It's a great organization in town. One of the things we have that we're proud of is we have a scholarship program. So anybody that is wanting to take some kind of art activity or some lessons and need some financial support, we're the place to come and get that support. So for today, our performers have worked together since 2011. They're old. They've worked in many different artistic endeavors. Some of these include 7 high school musicals, 3 Black Dirt Theater musicals, and many years of working together at Our Savior's Lutheran Church here in Hastings. They also put together a string camp dance workshop, cool, and a Civil War museum program. With all these creative avenues and working together for so long, they have never, ever done a duo together. But today's the day. They've dreamed of it for a long time and they're making it happen today. This program is some of their favorite things, and it will be the start of more programs to come. So please welcome to the stage pianist and violinist Sarah Lockwood and singer and composer and pianist Erik Pearson.
Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for being here. That piece, which is Liber Tango by Astor Piazzolla, who is an amazing Argentinian composer of tangos and opera and all kinds of amazing music, was first performed by us for the Steinway piano dedication in 2016?
2016.
I lose track. With the same shtick at the beginning.
Well, there were
So now it's a thing. It opens this first section, which is, appropriately enough, a bunch of dance tunes. As was mentioned in the prelude, one of the things that we have done was work together to help teach young musicians where all these funky dance tunes come from and why knowing how to move is important when you make music. So that was a tango. Now we have a Nitra's dance and a Norwegian dance. Not really sure. Something happens in the middle of that Norwegian dance, and I'll leave that for you to figure out. I'm like, what's next? Oh, right. So we have a birthday to celebrate today, and I won't make you sing because that will take too much time. But 191 years ago today, one of what is known as the three Bs in Western Germanic-centric classical music was born somewhere in Germany. And that, of course, is not Bach or Beethoven, those are the other two, but Brahms. 191 years ago today was his birthday, and he's been a major force in both of our lives. I will tell you a little secret. I'm not supposed to get too close to the microphone. I started out hating him because my mother conducted a performance of his Requiem when I was about 6 or 7, and I was an only child. That's all I'm going to say on that. You have a much better story. Brahms, ladies and
Not going to stay up, so yeah. This piece I'm about to play, actually I learned in college with my professor, but I have a wonderful relationship with Brahms through my father, so there's some parental thing happening.
I like
so.
that.
Yes, I've always liked him. So, and he's like the pianist. When we play Brahms, we just feel like, yes, this is it, you know. And he actually enjoyed learning about different pianos through, you know, their inventions and evolution. So I think at the Schubert Club Museum there's a piano of his that he played on, or a mock-up of it. So very cool. So, oh, you're getting my music for me. Thank you.
That's the right one.
That's the right one.
Okay. be here all day if we told you all of the fun and interesting facts we know about all of this music. But I will say about this next piece, it is one of, for at least pianists, the most famous of Brahms' works, so no pressure. But it is a piece that I keep coming back to. It's taken me a long time to learn, and it's one of those pieces that every time you come back to it through different stages of life, it gives you something new. I especially like how he repeats the A section both at the beginning and then, I guess that's the definition of an A section, isn't it? The A section from the beginning repeats at the end. And it's really interesting because how you hear the same material almost after having gone through all of the Strom und Drang and drama of the middle section. It's almost like what happens when you're really dramatic in your 20s, and then you learn a piece and things are hard, and then you come back to it at some indeterminate point later, and you see things slightly differently. So in this day and age, Brahms has a bit of a reputation for being a somewhat thick and difficult fuddy-duddy, perhaps a bit serious in the concert stage. There is no programmatic music, to quote him after all. But while he was alive, he had a lot of very talented musical friends, including Clara Schumann and her husband. And I can just see this next piece being played by a bunch of his friends sitting around after dinner, after some beer and sausages. So we're going to try and not take ourselves a little too seriously.
So you have coffee and cake.
I can't do this next section with him walking.
So, Eric and I, when we met, I had no idea of the amount of talent that is in this one person. He's like, whatever. So, not only is he's kind of a quadruple threat. So he can sing, he can act, he can dance, and he can compose. And so this next set is all by Mr. Erik Pearson, and all written during or shortly after the pandemic. So that's why we call it, what do we say in the program?
In difficult times we create.
Yes.
sitting alone in an apartment, wishing you were making music, and this is what comes out. I can, yes, but you can find it.
I got to my violin. So Erik's going to share with you,
There we go.
in a nutshell, all of these.
This first piece is a rondo, which is a musical form that has a theme that keeps coming back, usually with some sort of interjection in between. And this piece was an experiment, again, sitting alone at home in the summer of 2020, to try and find a melody that I could elongate and stretch and change as the piece went on. It also just might be a reflection of the monotony of sitting at home alone in the summer of 2020, with those flurries of excitement that involved going to Target. bit of a switch here. There we go. So many scores. This next piece was written also in 2020 for a project with Montana Shakespeare in the Parks, which is an amazing 50-plus-year-old company out of Bozeman, Montana, that tours all around the 5-state area, and I have been privileged to do at least 8 or 9 contracts with them. So they are a lot of the reason why I'm out of Minnesota a lot. But in 2020, they were trying to do a project to involve communities and artists, of course, because the tour had been canceled. They did a bunch of reverse postcards, they called them. There were YouTube videos with people talking about the towns we would have visited. And I had intended this piece to be part of that series. Because of the nature of the summer of 2020, that didn't quite happen. But instead, here we have a setting of Shakespeare's Sonnet 18, perhaps one of the most famous of Shakespeare's sonnets. So again, no pressure. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Oh, thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometimes declines by chance, or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Life to thee. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? I'll just say about this one. It's got a long story. If you want to know, ask us afterwards. This is a world premiere of this uncut full version. It was originally heard at Hastings High School in a musical in 2022. And it is dedicated to Nurse Catherine O. of the HCMC Viral Clinic in Minneapolis, Minnesota, who I had the fortunate occurrence of seeing many times. And the last time I saw her, I said, "Are you the only nurse in this department?" And she said yes. shift, someone laughed and said, "Hey, have you heard about that cruise ship?" I was waiting on the red line, heading home to see my kids. Someone coughed, and people moved away. It started as a story, something heard on NPR. Whispers in the hallways, awkward questions at a bar. I never dreamed that it would last so long. How on earth can I stay strong? Remember when they clapped for us each night at 8 p.m. Gave us signs and cards and hearts and called us heroes. Remember how some yelled at us and said that we were wrong. But it's worth it when we send someone home. I try to keep hold of the stories, you know? A woman came into the ER, young and pregnant, 32. When we had to help her breathe, I cried a little. A woman came into our ward. She'd seen life, been there before. She begged us spare our time for someone younger. It started with the old folks, then someone 20 was brought in. And when that child could scarcely breathe, I fought so hard to fight back tears as their families called on cell phones. Folks through glass were not let in. I held their hands and tried to smile through all that gear. My God, it's been a year. I remember when they clapped for us each night at 8 p.m. Gave us signs and cards and hearts and said, "You're heroes." Remember how we taught our kids, we canceled plans, our dreams on hold. I still say it's worth it every time that we send someone home. My own brother and I couldn't travel, couldn't be there at his side. So I just came to work each day, make a difference in some small way. Tried so hard to keep it all together, but I couldn't always keep it in. Sometimes I'd cry, let pressure win. Friends keep quitting every day. Some have retired, some went away. There are days I get so mad, or all that screaming gets too damn bad. And then, suddenly, someone will stop to say, "Hey, nurse, I'm glad you're here today." So I come to work each day, still determined here to stay, to care for people, the sick, the scared, the lonely. And it's not perfect, some days are hard. My kid's a pain, I'm off my guard. I never dreamed that I would last this long. And with grace, I will stay strong. It started as a story, something heard on the TV, a ray of hope, a way to find an ending. And I hope someday we'll get there, find a normal we've never seen. And even then, hold their stories close of all the people who we could not send home. I'll keep fighting for your partner, for your mom, your friend, your kid, because it's worth it. It's always worth it when we get to send you home. Okay, just a few more things. This next section does not have any overriding theme except that we really like it.
Oh, it's this one. I'm probably missing something.
So this next piece is a very British theme to a very British movie called Ladies in Lavender. That stars Dame Judi Dench and Dame Maggie Smith. They are incredible. The young violinist from Romania that washes up on their shore in maybe the 40s, I'm unclear, but the plot isn't as incredible as they are. But this theme is wonderful.
that towards me, so you can,
Oh.
I'm not the feature, so. I'm just sprinkles.
There's just so much you could say when you're a music geek. Okay. I was raised as a kid on a steady diet of Brahms and Bach and classical music, and also Peter, Paul, and Mary, and Ian and Sylvia, and John Denver, and those sorts of wonderful artists. And I have a dream of doing a concert that is all road songs, involving Sarah and a bunch of other friends of ours. And this is a prelude to that. It is from Joni Mitchell's Road Trip Phase, and it's a lovely song. Don't normally have a microphone in my face. Okay. I was driving across the burning desert when I spotted 6 jet planes, leaving 6 white vapor trails across the bleak terrain. It was the hexagram of the heavens, the strings of my guitar. Amelia, it was just a false alarm. The drone of flying engines is a song so wild and blue. It scrambles time and seasons if it gets through to you. Then your life becomes a travelogue of picture postcard charms. Amelia, it was just a false alarm. People will tell you where they've gone. They'll tell you where to go. Until you've been there yourself, you never really know. But some have found their paradise, others just come to mourn. Oh, Amelia, it was just a false alarm. I wish that he was here tonight. It's so hard to obey his sad request of me to kindly stay away. So this is how I hide the hurt that the road leads us to the charm. I tell Amelia it was just a false alarm. A ghost of aviation, she was swallowed by the sky or by the sea. Like me, she had a dream to fly. Like a tower of the dust, and I dreamed of strange billows on my wanderlust. I dreamed of 47s, all the electrifies. Dreams a million, dreams and false alarms. Oh, there's too much material when you're planning a piece like this, and you have to go, you know what, we'll do another one, we swear. And you have to make choices somehow, so there we are. You wanted to say something before the last two?
The last two are forehand pieces. So we end as we began, kind of, because he's late, you know. So the soiree polka by Stephen Foster is actually from the Civil War program that we did. And Eric's mother was a part of that. Do you remember that time? We did. So we performed it at least 2 or 3 times in the area. And it was a lot of fun. We even wore a period costume and everything, so you can imagine big skirt. So this is just one of those fun little soiree songs that we played. And then the Revel, we'll go right into the Revel. You want to talk about the Revel?
It's wonderful, that's all.
It's just like eye candy, but you know.
Also, thank you very much for coming. And is there still coffee and cake afterwards? Or
If there's still coffee and cake, please
Have
stick
that.
around. We'd love to chat with you.